I just want to get straight to the point. You see a lot of things in modern day society. People are just being more aware of things and how things are behind the curtains. Personally, I believe that in America, nothing is ever going to happen because, one, we have Enjoy the Slop, two, we are just gooning. I know the title is going to be crazy, but, you know, it is what it is. You just see things on the internet, especially on social media, how they market you things. You have to kind of follow these trends, especially like with us being so alone and consumerism becoming more rampant due to us being alone. Which is very obvious, don't get me wrong, I point out very obvious things. If you're like not a midwit, this is gonna be seem obvious to you. But most people are just like midwits. And sometimes I just hate people with like that pretend they are knowledgeable over things. They kind of just LARP. To distract yourself from being lonely, obviously you're gonna consume and get more products to just cope with it, right? Me personally, I play video games sometimes, and that's my way of coping when I'm not with my friends. Because sadly, people try to like come together, but they're just very busy. Everyone's working. This grind set lifestyle that we kind of adopted, it is destroying our livelihoods in a way. Someone told me today from the gym that you have to live out life and that I'm not gonna be like in my 20s for like so long, which I agree to, but really, I can't live my life because I don't have that type of income. I can't even produce it. Well, not right now. I can produce it in the future because I know people and I'm like gaining more skills to do that, but everything else that I'm gonna need is just gonna come in the future. So I'm kind of in the boat of where I'm just beginning. And then you see these YouTubers saying like don't work, don't become a slave, which I can't agree with, but you need to live. And funny enough, the only way to live is to become a slave, either through your passions or through just the work itself. Even like making content, it will become a job in the future, and then you become a slave to that. You have to keep out pushing content that has to go like very viral and become trendy, or else you're gonna die out and lose that income. And then you see the dating market, how it kind of ties into that because people are not gonna have time to date. Granted, women are less single compared to men. Like 64% of men are single, and only like 32% of women are single. But funny enough, 60% of women out of the 32% want to date, but only like 30% of the 60% of single men want to date, which is kind of funny. Even if the percentages of wanting to date were even, there wouldn't be enough women for the men. And that's not really like a misogynist thing, it's just like it is what it is. Because there's not enough people, heterosexual wise, to just be together. Again, I'm focusing on heterosexual relationships. Then this goes into gooning, and people can just become addicted to it. Again, another coping mechanism, which I understand. You shouldn't do it. Granted, it's a bodily thing that you have to do, like, that's for your health, but you can't, I don't recommend doing it with corn. You just, crazy, you just do it with your imagination. I would just say one time a month, bro. That's all you really need. Because, prostate cancer and stuff. You need to get the poison out. Even if you practice hero retention, testosterone only peaks at around, like, day 7, like a week, so, at a point, there's, like, no point to just storing it, because your testosterone already peaked and it's gonna go down again. Later on, you'll see, like, more discourse with people. People like to just kind of, like, debate with each other, especially online, since we kind of see each other as less human, even though we know a person's behind the screen, but that doesn't really cross your mind whenever you're replying to a comment that you might disagree with. Which I can attest to that. I do that too. I'm not perfect. Whenever, like, I'm generalizing, people will kind of come at me and say that these things are wrong, you're just generalizing, which is no duh. I know there's exceptions, but it's just tiring for me to state out that I know there are exceptions. It's like saying people with tattoos get them because something significant happened to their life and those tattoos represent that part. It's a generalization, and I know some people just get tattoos because they look cool. I don't care either way, but if I'm betting on it, I would say most of the time people just get tattoos because something traumatic happened to them. And then you all see these entertainment slobs. This content is a form of slob. It comes from, I like to call the armchair philosopher slob. Because it's just like, it's repeated content. Like, chuds talk about, like, hypergamy, them being an incel. Armchair philosophers talk about society, how everything is wrong, even get into, like, the incel space, too, and become doomers. My philosophy is more so of an absurdist take. I don't find meaning in life, but I will find my own meaning. And in reality, it is in itself meaningless, but I just don't care. I just kind of find it funny that this whole thing is very insignificant, and my life is just matters as much as yours, and also it doesn't matter as much as yours. That's how I see it. It's just kind of hilarious to think about. Even though humans put value on people through their phenotype, through what they could provide, or through their social status. And going back to consumerism, the food that we eat It's pure just slop. I'm into working out and stuff, but it's just pure protein slop, pure goy slop. Every time like I walk out, it's just goy slop, goy slop, goy slop. Every time I see things on TikTok, the most popular creators are just, I don't even call them mukbangers per se, I just call them goy slop connoisseurs or goy slop maxers. They just keep eating goy slop and that just gets popular. I feel like I understand the sentiment because one, I don't want to be a goy slop consumer, and two, I just kind of feel this superiority that I'm not eating the goy slop and someone is doing it for me. And, you know, pretty much everything is just a goy slop. Even the Whole Foods organic stuff, it's just goy slop unless you go to like a kosher grocery store. Well, that's how I personally buy my stuff. I don't even trust grass-fed beef unless it's 100%. Luckily my hair is curly, so I can just kind of like curl it into the, you know what I mean. They're gonna come for me if I explain more. Like even then, people are just pushing this type of food. It just dwindles our energy. It kind of just shut down our systems slowly. I can't really be so blunt because like YouTube and TikTok censorship is so dumb. That's another. That's gonna be another video. I feel like also the food kind of just affects us mentally in a funny way because you know the brain is part of the body, whatever, right? Obviously. And then this goes into like our social aspects, feeds into us fighting with each other, especially like I know that I say like gender wars are bad, and sometimes when I speak, my experience is like a very heterosexual experience. So I talk about women and my experience with women personally. I don't hate all women. That's just my personal experience with them, and it's like for the most part, it's been pretty sour. Some parts are sweet, but a lot of parts are sour. For the most part, I think I just got unlucky, or maybe it's just me being like a neurodivergent man. I think it's a part of both. Anyway, back to the topic. And one thing they're being smart about the goy slop is that there's FOMO in it. Like one of the most prevalent goy slop restaurants there is like Crumble Cookie, and they have these new sodas, and the sodas are over like 150 grams of sugar. The max is 186 grams of sugar, which is crazy. You shouldn't be intaking that much sugar. Like the body needs sugar, but not that much. And there's a lot of options in the menu, so that kind of also produces FOMO because now you have to try out each and every single goy slop soda. It's so bad. Not just the cookies as well, because obviously you're gonna get cookies with that soda. Like, bro, fuck it. It might as well go up to like 300 grams of sugar. Not even 300 grams of sugar. That's like, I'm probably being like very like lenient about it. It's probably over like 600 grams of sugar max. Especially with like the ever changing selection throughout the weeks. That's pretty bad. Then you'll see these chicken spots, especially with Gen Z. I just call them chicken slop. Especially with like Dave's Hot Chicken, Wingstop, or Wingslop. One, I don't know how like spicy chicken is the new wave. Two, and tell me why the chicken slop is always like chicken with just hot Cheetos like breaded on it. Either hot Cheetos or Takis. There's not much else except for like Dave's Hot Chicken and stuff. But it's pretty much that. Granted, even Wingslop, even though they use Tyson chicken nuggets, but people don't really care about that. They'll still get the slob. The slugs want their slob. I can't really stop it. The goys want their slop. Like I swear, it's like everything just distracts us because there's just more slop and more gooning. I swear, like every time that girl that's interested in OF and wants to become a star in it, as soon as they turn 18, a new OF, a new OF account like gets started, and then I also think like a new star was born. Like, bro, how many stars do we have at this point? And I get like the economy is so ass that you would have to like start an OF. Granted, it's like very rare for an account to become like this 1% like OF account that makes like millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, really crazy. At the bare minimum, well, most commonly they will get like an extra like $600 to say the very least. I would say the average. I have to look this up. I'll probably look into it a little bit. The average I would say is like a few $1,000s, which is a lot. That could pay a significant amount of your rent. But if you're into these more like liberal cities, me personally, I don't really care about political like standings. But being real, the more progressive cities, I think you'll get more out of it, and people will be more likely to pay more. The boys want to goon. They want to goon. That's how you sedate them. It's kind of like, yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. It's the cat. It's the cattle. You feed the cattle a slop, and then you just sedate them by making them goon. And I feel like that's why I'm just taking a break from dating as well. Not really because of the mentality. That's a separate video. I think I spoke about that so many times, especially like as a neurodivergent man. It just kind of feels like they're breeding us. You just hook up with as many people as you can. If you want to get married, you get married, but then you get divorced because the divorce rate is so high, and then you just do the cycle over again. But make sure you just kind of breed out a kid. If you don't breed out a kid or take care of one of the cattle, you're not doing a very good job as a goy, bro. Funny enough, the goy slop just kind of affects more the impoverished neighborhoods, even some of the like middle class neighborhoods. For me, it's still impoverished because it's us and then the people on the top. And that's it. That's it. There's no, there's no in between. So we're already impoverished. But it's just like you see these trends, especially like the new pineapple Kool-Aid, and it's just like, one, why are you paying like $20 for something you can make at home? I think it's just a lot cheaper to just buy the item and then just make it at home yourself. Two, why are you putting so much sugar in it? The pineapple already has a lot of sugar. Granted, I was raised in the hood, being honest. I just got out of it, and I understand like the culture in a way. But really, it's like, why are you putting so much sugar? So I got it's just like the more impoverished you are, like the more you tend to eat just goy slop. Maybe that's why the crime rates are so high in these neighborhoods. The goy slop is just affecting us more. It's just affecting you more. Like at this point, I might as well just start eating raw meat, everything raw. And with the sedation through like filling our stomachs and gooning, the people are gonna be very comfortable. Even like if something were like big were to happen, that's not caused by the people that controls everything. I think the commoners are just gonna not care. They're just gonna have an apathy towards it. Granted, I'm apathetic towards it as well, but not because of the goy slop or the gooning. It's just like I'm just mentally checked out, and I feel like a lot of people are also mentally checked out. That too. And nothing is just gonna happen in America. There's not gonna be any revolution. There's not gonna be any like major movements. People are just gonna enjoy their slop and goon until we get our bug sandwiches and bug protein and more protein slop and more food slop. These fake food slops and synthetic slop and our goon pods. We're just not gonna do anything about it. I think even if that happens, it's like nothing's gonna happen. We're just gonna be satisfied because we're just eating and gooning. The other message I want to say is don't take my videos too seriously. Most of them are just freaking satire, but I swear to God, people just think like being pedantic is just a high IQ play. It's just so midwit, bro. It's so midwit. Like I swear to God, I have like I don't have that much empathy due to my brain function and how it works. But I get like so apathetic towards like someone that's just being pedantic towards me. Like I get so tired, man. I get so tired. But anyway, take care of yourselves.